Okay, you guys, I've got a new comedian I'm going to check out. His name is Dylan Moran. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. Sorry about that. I do not remember how this particular video ended up in my to watch list. I don't remember if this specific one was recommended. This is his bit about won't watch Game of Thrones. I don't know if this was recommended or if I just saw it in passing because maybe his name had been recommended. And anyway, somehow it ended up in my to watch list. So I'm going to check it out now. I don't think I've ever seen this man's comedy before. I don't even know if I've ever seen him at all before in anything, in any capacity, like on a talk show or whatever. If I have, I didn't remember him. So let's go ahead and get acquainted.
Now, of course people want distraction. Of course we do. Because reality is pretty tough stuff. The news, you know, all that stuff, the so-called Islamic State people. I tried to look for, some bright points with these people. That's a bit of a struggle. At the beginning I was watching them, oh, come on, you scamps. Stop it now. But they don't even take weekends. Somebody needs to tell these people they are seriously interrupting brunch for a lot of people. You look at them and you think, oh my God, this is so bleak. This has got to be peak bleak. I don't know who I am anymore. I can't stand this. You look at it, I don't even know which snack to eat with which war.
Okay.
Look, say what you like about fundamentalist death cults. They go very well with the heavier cheddars.
Maybe some wine.
But you do think, I don't know if I can take much more of this shit. I don't really watch the news anymore. I just have two old men sitting at the end of my room, staring at each other. On the hour, every hour, one of them shouts at the other one, terrorist! And the other one shouts, pedophile! And then a woman walks in between them and says, rain expected. I've got it pretty much covered, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
No wonder then that people look for other things to watch. Television, all kinds of shit television. Television, which was invented in Scotland, of course. My Scottish wife, we live in Scotland, reminds me all the time about all the amazing things Scotland has invented. It goes on and on. List of things that you depend on every single day of your life you don't even aware of. Monkeys, steam, paella, lightning, kung fu, pubic hair. The list is endless. And
Okay.
golf, that's another one. Golf, you get that at the end of your working life. You've worked for 45, 50 years. That's your reward. You get to hit the tiny ball in the tiny hole 4 miles away behind a tree using a shoehorn. Well done, you. To show everyone how into it you are, you have to wear these sexually repellent clothes. So they know just how hard you're avoiding your wife. Well done. But they also invented television, which people are very addicted to in terms of distraction. I started watching a lot of television in the last year or so because I gave up smoking, okay? Yeah, thank you very much. But the thing was, that's the thing, that revealed to me how exposed I was. Because it's a prop, you depend on something, you're putting something in your mouth all the time, and it's a screen against the world and so on. And I suddenly felt incredibly alone and depressed, But it's okay, we can talk about depression now, that's okay, because of all the lovely celebrities who've come on and talked about their therapies and treatments. They've normalized it, it's fine now. You can talk about it. Although I did notice when they were talking about it, I felt the same way I feel when I listen to my own friends talk about their depression, which is, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. My self-loathing is much worse than yours. What's that you say? Face down in a pool of Cocoa Pops all day Wednesday? I wish I had the strength for that. But it's good to be able to talk about it. And then, of course you get depressed. Of course you get depressed. Look, life is hard sometimes, That's why we don't want to spend time alone. Some of you came here alone and will return home alone. And that's okay, but most people are trying to avoid that because they're afraid of their own thoughts. Have you ever had a bath? That goes on a bit too long, doesn't it? By the end of that, you're thinking, get me out of here! That's enough, get me out! I'm alone and I'm wet, I have to dry myself, I hate this bit. It's so tedious. Why do I have to manage all this pork? I don't even remember what I was talking about now. I suppose it doesn't really
When's it
matter.
going to get to Game of Thrones?
We're just talking. Distraction. That's it. And I don't know where a reminder came from, but the
Got distracted with the
But
wine.
that's something that people do. You drink, drugs, food, shit television, amazingly shit television. The things people watch in this country. Everybody goes on about how Britain makes the best television in the world. It does, but David Attenborough's not responsible for everything. So there's some extraordinary crap out there. The baking thing. People are baking and they're talking about it. Bake up. That thing. Cake is a beautiful thing. Why fuck it up by talking about it? The whole point of cake is to shut people up. You've got a cake, it's a semi-religious moment. You don't ruin it by standing there and going, I did cream and sugar and... Shut up and eat it! What's the other one? You must dance. Dance with the old man. Get in and dance with the corpse. That one.
I'm not sure what he's talking
What genius came up with this? And people are watching this. What's wrong with them? I mean, look at the austerity, the cutbacks, the schools, the funding for hospitals and all that stuff. If you want to cut stuff back, shut that shit down. If you absolutely have to watch something that stupid, wait. If you have to see something, if you need to zone out of your own life so badly, save the money. Just draw some smiley faces on cocktail sausages, cram them into Christmas decorations, and rattle them on a tray. People will watch anything. I travel around in these hotels, turning on the telly, looking for local news, and Jeremy Kyle comes on. Who's watching this horrible man? Somebody, he's like a drunk seagull, battering pregnant voles with his beak.
about.
You did, didn't you? You fucked him, didn't you? You did.
He should be strapped to the front of a fast car and driven into a big hole. But wait, no, stop with the hang on. Sorry, wait. The whole clapping thing is great for you. I know you're there, okay? I know.
Okay.
You're annoying me now. Just if you're enjoying it, just give each other a hug, okay? I don't. Because I talk quickly. I forget. If you clap, I'll forget stuff. Okay, and the laughing also, you take that down a bit. People will watch anything. Twilight. Pale teenagers sucking the lifeblood out of everybody around them. Where is the escapism in this? Anything. Game of Thrones, which has been running for 35 years by my calculation. I can't look at that. I can't watch the little hunchbacked man put on the amulets and the thongs and the swords and the helmet and the pelmet and the cloak and the daggers and the necklace of dead crows' arseholes just to crawl up the hill and go, the boats are coming. Oh, please, do something with your life. People engage with this stuff because it's easier than talking to the people they live with. You know, it's not so intense. If you were House of Cards or whatever, Francis Underwood isn't going to turn around to you and go, why did you eat all the ham in the fridge, you fat fuck?
Oh, good. I stopped it before it went to an ad. Okay, so this guy, so his brand of humor seems to be kind of snarky, sort of very cynical type of outlook on different things, or the stuff that he talked about. He didn't really talk about Game of Thrones too much. So this really wasn't what I was expecting it to be. However, as he was doing his thing, some thoughts did come to me. For one, he was talking about the stupid things people watch. The thing about TV and I kind of agree with him about like what I consider stupid. I used to love the History Channel. Then that got ruined by, to me, stupid shows like Pawn Stars or whatever it's called. Pawn Shop, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Ice Road Truckers and all these other reality type of shows that kind of just now dominate History Channel. And you don't see really any decent documentaries on there anymore. Every once in a blue moon, they'll have a documentary that's brand new and you can watch it. Now, the Best of History channel is on a secondary history channel called H2. I don't have access to that on my my streaming service, but I don't even know if it's still around. But on H2, they used to show the documentaries. I mean, they would show the documentaries that they used to show on History Channel back when it was good. So I don't get the appeal of those types of shows. I can't stand them. The whole thing about Twilight, yeah, I hate that book. I thought the movie would be decent, and no. I was like, then I tried to watch the second movie, and it took me months to finish it because I could only take just small doses of that. It was so bad it gave me chills. So I get what he's saying about certain things being stupid, and I do have personal ideas about certain things that I think are pretty stupid. But at the same time, different things appeal to different people. And what I may consider to be absolutely awful, a bunch of other people may like it. Okay, so for example, he was talking about why do people watch like them baking stuff or watching. I mean, it's getting around to what I was already talking about. So I don't even know why I brought that up. But for example, reaction videos. They're very popular on YouTube. And at the same time, there is a large segment of people that absolutely despise them. They think they're terrible. They think that it's a lazy way to make content for YouTube. They think it's a scummy way to make content. They just have a lot of disdain for it. In some ways, I see where they're coming from. But at the same time, the reason that reaction videos are so popular on YouTube, especially it feels like now, like this year, with everything that's been going on, the reason why they're so popular, I think, is because it's kind of like, it's like a social connection with people. It's like you're right there with them, enjoying the same thing that they're enjoying. It's like a form of socializing and interacting with people, even though you're not really right there in the room with them. I personally get enjoyment out of reaction videos, because especially if it's material I already know, because that's the whole reason you watch reaction videos. Really, someone took me to task on one of my community comment section things about he like presented the idea that basically, I guess in his mind, he thinks, well, people are coming to see a reaction video to watch the content that you're putting up, like the source material. But the reality is that most of the time, people that watch reaction videos, they are already very familiar with the source material. They're not necessarily going there to watch it for the first time. They've seen it. They want to see what the reactor thinks about it, how they react to it, if they laugh or if they're sad or whatever. And so it's like you're sharing an experience with somebody, but that other person that you're sharing it with, which would be the people, on the other side of the screen. Most of the time, those people have already seen it, and it's kind of like, let's say you're going to see a movie with a friend that you've already seen before, and you really like the movie, or you really want to see that friend's reaction, so you're going there with them, and you're watching the same material that you've already seen, but you just want to hang out with that person and see their reaction, what they think about it, and stuff like that. So it's like it's a form of communication, human connection, and I think that's why they're so popular, because it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But anyway, basically, getting around to his disdain for certain things that people watch. Like, I thought he was going to say that he didn't want to watch Game of Thrones because I thought he was going to tie it around to the depressing stuff at the beginning, like, you know, ISIS, and it's like after a while it's ruining brunch or whatever, because it's just so terrible what they're doing. And I thought he was going to say that Game of Thrones is so awful and tragic and just brutal and raw and terrible. Like, you already are exposed to enough bad news and sad news every day if you pay attention to the news. Why would you want to depress yourself even more by getting attached to certain characters and then they die? I thought that's the route he was going to go, but he didn't. With regard to Game of Thrones, I used to love that show. That was the best show on TV for years. And then when they ran out of source material, when they got to the end of book 5 and George R.R. Martin had given them the template for what was supposed to happen through to the rest of the story. And so they knew that they were supposed to get from this point to that point over there. The problem is, without the source material, the direct source material in the form of novels, the outline he gave them just was not sufficient enough for them to write a decent storyline. And the creators proved to us when they ran out of the source material that they couldn't write worth crap unless they had something to draw off of beyond a simple outline, because season 6 was decent-ish, but like 7 started to get shaky. And then 8 was just like, it was like, I could not believe what I was watching. I could not believe the disaster that I was watching. A show that went from one of the best, if not the best on TV, to absolute just tanked for me. It was such a bad ending. Not necessarily that where they took it was a bad ending, but how they got there was so terrible. It was such a travesty to the fans, and it makes me mad to think about it. And I wish they had just... There's so many things. I mean, just so much character development just down the crapper with Jon Snow, and the whole build up with Jon Snow and the Night King. And then freaking Arya comes in and kills him. It's like, what? That makes no sense. Plus, I don't like Arya. She started to really wear thin with me. But character development that just went nowhere. You think there was going to be some huge build up between the Night King and when he confronts Bran, and nothing happened. And then it was just, I don't know, y'all. I could go on about that. I'm still mad about it. And I don't even want to watch it anymore. Like the first few seasons that were so good. What's the point in watching them? Because things don't really get resolved, until the very end. But you know that the very end is crap, so why watch it? My brother got me DVDs for the first 3 seasons, and I'm like, I feel like I don't want them to occupy my shelf, even though they were a gift. It's like, I don't know. It's Dexter was another one that went off the rails. But I'm digressing. This has not a whole lot to do with exactly what he was talking about, but that's where I thought he was going to go, and he didn't quite go where I thought he was going to go. He was funny, kind of like I said, sarcastic-y, snarky sort of humor. It wasn't uproarious, so I don't know when I'll return to this guy. I'm going to have to look and see if I've got something else recommended for his name specifically. I thought I had at least one other video of his in my to watch list, but I'm not sure. At any rate, I don't know. He's not, he wasn't awful, but he wasn't. There have been others that make me laugh more and tickle me a lot more than he did, but I'm willing to give him another try if there's something else that you guys know of specifically that would be worth checking out. So, okay, I think that's it. I did go on a bit of a rant, so I think I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug. Later, guys.